Hey guys, welcome back to the Ignite SAT Mastery Program. Today we'll be covering Lesson 4 of Module 4, Solving for X, Quadratic Solutions. Now, just as a refresher, what are these quadratic solutions questions? Now, they're going to look a little something like these questions, whereas they have something to do with either the quadratic formula, the standard quadratic equation, or just solutions to quadratic expressions. Now, if we look at these, questions 17 and 13 each have these factors. 17 looks at the standard equation of the quadratic, while 13 looks at the solutions of a quadratic equation. Now, let's try solving one of these questions. Let's look at question 17. This question is asking, in the equation above, a, b, and c are constants. If the equation is true for all values of x, what is the value of b? Now, let's dissect this a little bit. We know it's asking for the value of b, but we have the value of b correlating to something in the standard quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are all constants. Now, we know we can get this equation on the right if we simplify this equation on the left, because they are supposed to equal each other. Now, let's look at a way to do this. Let's take this expression and start the simplification process. Let's distribute 2x and 3 to the expression 3x plus 5. And when we do that, we get 2x times 3x plus 2x times 5 plus 3 times 3x plus 3 times 5. And let's simplify this even further. We get 6x squared plus 10x plus 9x plus 15. And if we finally simplify this again, we get 6x squared plus 19x plus 15. Now, does this look very similar to what we had before? The ax squared plus bx plus c. 19x directly correlates to bx. So we can say that b equals 19. Now, how about you guys try answering one of these questions on your own? Now that you've had a chance to look at this question, let's go over it together. What is the sum of all values of m that satisfy 2m squared minus 16m plus 8 equal 0? Now, there's multiple ways we can do this, but let's try dissecting this first. We have 2m squared minus 16m plus 8 equaling 0. Now, let's continue. Let's factor out a 2, and we have m squared minus 8m plus 4. Let's try to look for different expressions that will multiply together to create this, or what values add to negative 8 and multiply to 4. Now, we can't really find anything, or at least constants, so we're going to have to rely on a different measure, using the quadratic formula. Now, this is what the quadratic formula looks like. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, all in square root, divided by 2a, the entire quantity. Now, let's plug in these values and see what we can get. We have x equals 8 plus or minus negative 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5, all under square root, divided by 2. Now, let's continue simplifying this expression. As we keep going down, we get 8 plus or minus 48, the square root of 48, divided by 2. And now let's look at something. 48 can be split up into terms where one of them you can take the square root of, and this is 16 and 3. X equals 8 plus or minus 16 times 3, that's square root, divided by 2. So 8 plus minus 4, the square root of 3, divided by 2, is also equal to x, just because we're pulling out that 4 because the square root of 16 is 4. Now let's continue. We have x equals plus or minus 2 root 3. And if we continue, it's x can equal 4 plus 2 root 3, or x equals 4 minus 2 root 3. So let's see what we do. Let's continue, and we want to sum these answers together as per the question. When we add them together, we notice that the 2 root 3's actually cancel out each other, and we're left with just 8. Now that we're left with just 8, that is the answer that we have. Let's look at some tips when answering these quadratic solutions questions. First thing you want to do is factor. Factor any way you can that you can either create a set of solutions for a quadratic equation, or you can simplify it down to a standard form or something of that nature. The next thing we want to do is, as I said before, simplify. You want to simplify these expressions in a way that you can determine what the answer is going to be. After that, isolate those variables on each side and figure out what each of those variables are going to equal. They can equal 2 answers, they can equal imaginary answers, or they can equal just 1 answer. Then we're going to solve this, and you should get a surefire answer that will be there every time. Next time, we're going to be interpreting inequalities on the math section of the SAT.